I would like to start this conversation by just sharing with you my journey as a starseed. And my journey was very powerful, actually. And I think that every one of you have a different experience. But I was awakened in my starseed aspect in 2016. So before 2016, I had a very grounded life in the third dimensional plane of existence. I was in the matrix and I was serving at different levels. I worked for IT corporations for 15 years. And, at some point, I had a big awakening that opened my channel. And this is when I start connecting with Sirius Council of Light. So I worked with Sirius Council for 1 year, and they trained me and they shifted my consciousness and they engaged me in different processes, and they took me to many portals of awakening and ascension in order to be ready to be a trans channel for the Arcturian Council of Light. And why I'm sharing this with you, all of this, is because many of you have had these awakenings at the different parts of different stages of your life. For me, it was very intense, like was not planned, let's say, in a conscious way. I didn't expect that to happen. I really thought that I was in a very good space in my life. I was not spiritual at all. I was not meditating or doing yoga at all. I was very much in the matrix and being a manager, managing teams and projects. And I work for these big corporations in Silicon Valley and Ireland, and I was like this. I didn't thought that this is going to happen to me, but it just happened. And when you are meant to be activated in your soul mission, and when you are here to have an active participation to co-creating the new earth, then something is happening in your reality that is going to take you onto another path. And this is what happened to me actually in 2016. So that was a blessing in disguise. And in that moment in time, I thought that, whoa, this is so intense, because my entire life shifted dramatically, like radical change. It was a radical change at all levels of my being, from, I had to resign my job. I also, like, my friends left my reality. There are so many big movements that had happened, and also I had a major burnout. And in that moment of the burnout, my mind was restarted, and I was actually prepared. My consciousness was prepared to receiving the Sirius Council of Light. So I went through major challenges and transformation to arrive at this point where I'm able actually to embody my mission and to be here in front of you all and inspire you, if you are at this stage of your evolution, to not give up, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is so much waiting for us at the other side. But the journey is not always easy. And many of you that had this awakening that happened, that it happened to me, many of you probably are feeling very isolated and alone, and you don't know exactly with who to speak about your experiences. I was in the same situation. When Sirius Council started connected to me, I was in a situation where, okay, who should I speak about this? And I don't know what is real and what is not real. Like the perception about reality that I had was not very anchored. Like, I don't know exactly what is real and what is not real. Like, the fluidity of time and space and the circularity of time started to happen for me. So I know that many of you that are awakening to your starseed aspect, many of you are thinking, it's like, how can you actually integrate that experience in your third dimensional reality? Because we started, all of us, there, right? So, there are few people on this planet that are actually, getting born and enlightened, and, they are following a spiritual path. Many of us, we had been in the third dimension, and, we were very much plugged into the matrix, had normal jobs, and we were in the system 100%. So when this awakening is happening and it's kind of changing the fabric of your reality, the idea is that you have to honor that experience, as much as you are honoring each and other experiences that you have. So you have to let that experience getting integrated in your physicality, and it takes a period of a readjustment. You know, it is not easy. You know, like it's not easy. It's not easy to go to your friends that are not awakened and speak about your experiences, or to go, you know, to your family and speak about this. I remember when I decided to leave the matrix and my job, I went to my mother and I told her, it's like, hey, you know, I'm just leaving my job now, you know, after 15 years being a very well respected person in the corporation, you know, having an incredible salary and job, and, you know, power, money, fame, and recognition, and social validation, and so on, because I am now trans-channeling an alien civilization. And my mother, of course, she had a big reaction around it. You know, she just couldn't believe it. Firstly, she didn't understand what that is. And secondly, it's like, no, you can't do that. You know, like for her, it was like such a shock. You know, like the reality was showing her that there are also other realities possible, but it was such a big period for her to integrate that that reality that I was presenting to her. And I hope this resonates with you guys, and I'm bringing this to your attention and awareness, because when we start awakening to our starseed aspect, it's not that you know, not everything is extremely excited. Of course it is, because, you know, we go into the higher realms of existence and we connect to these beautiful beings, and then we are coming back in our bodies, and then, you know, there is a very heightened perception of being connected. Actually, once again, the way we had been connected when we were in our mother's womb, or before incarnation. But then, you know, is this discrepancy, if I can say, between, you know, the starseed journey and how we integrate that in physical reality, and how we make it actually work in physical form, in the third and fourth dimensions. So I hope this resonates with you. And, you know, I'm sharing with you my journey to let you know that you are not alone. And there are many people, you know, spread all around the world that are, you know, going through this process of awakening. And many of you, many of them, they don't have friends actually, and, you know, they're very isolated in different parts of the world, as I was. Like when that happened to me in 2016, I was in Ireland, and I lived for 1 year in self-isolation in an Irish cottage, which my first neighbor was in 1 kilometer away. And I went through huge processes, you know, with the Sirius Council of Light, and I was like full into devotion to what I was receiving, knowing that that was my choice. That was the choice, that the path that I choose to walk 100% with no turning back. I knew that it was not possible for me to turn back. And yeah, it takes courage, right? Like it takes a lot of courage and determination and devotion to go into that space. But for you all knowing that, you know, this had happened to me, but also, you know, it is a process actually. The starseed when the starseed is awakening, it's a process that is following. So, you know, within the ascension process, there are layers and layers, or levels and levels of awakening. And we are accessing, you know, a journey. There is a journey that we are taking. So it's not that when we are connected to the higher councils of light, we are awakened 100%, and, you know, like we are already in the fifth dimensional consciousness. If it was so easy, then we were all the collectives there already, you know. But it's not like that.